Chamorro cake or something crazy good you don't even need frosting. In the bowl, I have 3½ cups of all-purpose flour. Now you can also use cake flour, which is what I have listed under my ingredients in my book, Remember Guam. I'm going to add 1¼ teaspoon of baking powder. I really like the texture of Chamorro cake using all-purpose flour. In the bowl, I have 2 cups of butter that's melted, which is equal to 4 of the sticks, or if you buy butter in bulk like I do, it's one of the big 1-pound blocks. So all I did was I cubed the butter, put it in the microwave, and at 20-second intervals I heated the butter until it melted. To this I'm going to add my sugar, and this is 2 3/4 cups of granulated sugar. So the melted butter makes a difference in this cake compared to using softened butter. We're going to beat this on low for about 2 to 3 minutes. Just incorporate this a little bit, that way the butter doesn't splatter everywhere. Yeah. Well, the butter's still jumping out. It's okay. A little bit of cleanup afterwards. As you can see, I transferred my sugar and butter mixture to another bowl. I was trying to save a dish, but it didn't work out. My glass bowl wasn't big enough. So at any rate, you can melt your butter in a separate container and then add it to the sugar that's in your largest bowl. And notice how different the texture looks compared to when we started in the beginning. Now I'm going to add 1 of 6 eggs and beat each egg for a minute at high speed. So this is going to take a while. I have my watch nearby just to keep it accurate. But we'll beat each egg for 1 minute, and after 6 eggs, I'll be back. Notice how different the butter, sugar, and egg mixture looks now. It's very light. It almost looks like vanilla pudding. So this is 6 minutes of beating, and at some point you want to clean off the rim of the bowl and incorporate that part of the batter. So here we go. This is 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I make my own extract. See the dots? By the way, when you're baking, unless it's otherwise specified, you want your eggs, all of your ingredients at room temperature. Eggs, milk. So room temperature eggs beat up better than cold eggs. And the eggs help add volume and structure to your baked goods while they're baking. That's why you want them at room temperature. Alright, now we're going to add the flour. So we've got my all-purpose and baking powder mixture, about 1/3 of the flour and 1/3 of the milk. Then we'll beat this on low. Another 1/3. and the last third. Finish combining this by hand. And of course you've already prepared your 9x13 baking sheet, or I have used two 9-inch round pans. You can also add raisins to this if you want. Today I'm not adding raisins, but I did the last time I made it. I don't know, several months ago. Here I have my 9x13 dish. What I did is I took a napkin and applied a thin layer of Crisco, added some flour, and rotated the pan so that the flour evenly coated over the Crisco. I'm going to add my batter. And this is going to bake in your preheated oven at 350 degrees for about 55 to 65 minutes. So you just need to check your cake. You know, every time you bake, you always check your whatever it is that you're making with your oven light turned on, or after at least 3/4 of the time, depending on what it is. You can usually open the oven and turn the pan, rotate it if you want to. But I always check my things about 10 minutes before the end time called for on a recipe. Okay, just slide the batter around, get it to the corner. Now this Chamorro cake is not the same as brojas. Brojas is the sponge cake. It is a very soft and delicious cake as well. But this is simply Chamorro cake. I don't know how the name originated and what have you, but it's kind of what I grew up with, so. Okay, and this goes into the oven, and I'll see you back when we're done. Yummy! My Chamorro cake is done. And you can see here there are bubbles on the top. These are not flecks of flour, they're bubbles. It's so soft. Now I prefer my cake cold. This is still very hot. But oh, look at that. And I love it dense. Like I said earlier, I love this cake with all-purpose flour as opposed to cake flour. But if you like a very soft texture, use cake flour. If you like it dense, you can use all-purpose. I love it when it's cold. But you can smell and taste the vanilla extract. And most of this is going to go into the freezer. Some people like to use it for luscious, a cake and custard dessert that we make in Guam, but this is great just plain.